everyone. Today I'm here with Karen Boginski from US Games, and she's a designer of Renaissance Wars. Everyone that ordered it on Kickstarter should now be getting their copy if they haven't already gotten it. We had the pleasure last year of getting this tested at Dice Tower. It's now been to Dice Tower twice, and Origins, and all you people that are headed to Gen Con, you should look around and see if you can find a copy floating there. But we have our first copy. We're gonna let Karen help us open it up. So what can you tell us?
Well, this is Renaissance Wars. The title of the game, as you can see, does have wars in it, but it's not a battle game or a mini game or anything like that. When I open the box and we look at the components, I'll explain a little bit of why it has that name. As you can see, this basically encapsulates the game. The game's afoot, follow your spirit, a quote by William Shakespeare. So, as you can see, it's a very nice Renaissance scene. I believe this is Spain, Seville. So, shall we open the box?
Absolutely.
So, we open the box.
Oh, that is so nifty. I like that. So, we'll give you guys close-ups and have steals all at the end, but on the inside, it gives you a quick prep of how to quickly set up your game. The lid is attached, which is just a fabulous, fabulous feature. Oh, I love that. That's so cute. Okay, so I'm gonna put your name. Oh, it's really cute.
Well, thank you. We like it too. So when you open the box, and as Heather noted, there is a quick setup guide. So you do get a book, a nice rule book here. It is 28 pages, but as you can see, it's very heavily illustrated.
Oh, that is good.
So it's not a lot of words that just go on and have no reference or mean nothing. One of the things that we really believe in at US Games in general, and I designed the game with my sister Jody, and us in particular, is we do feel it's so important that if the rules are not well designed, well written, that no matter how good the game is, if people who buy the game and can't understand the rules, no one will ever play it.
Sure.
So, as you can see, it's very well illustrated. One other thing, we do have a glossary because in the game, there are certain phrases that we use that are particular to the game, so we have them here with a reference.
That's really good.
And we have commonly asked questions because, as Heather mentioned, we did test this at Dice Tower 2 years ago, and that was such an important thing during the development of the game. And this part of the rules does address a lot of what we encountered during that testing phase of the game.
Oh.
Common questions. So there's a couple of pages of them, and then finally, maybe people are not that interested in it, but this is a little picture of myself and my sister when we were little girls.
Oh, how cute!
Because
I think I had that same Raggedy Ann doll.
So that's the rules.
Awesome.
So then we get to the board. As you can see, it's a pretty compact box. But the board opens up.
Oh, wow.
Into, it's a three-fold board. The design of the board does fit the period. You know, it has this Renaissance decoration and what have you.
So this board is amazing. First of all, I would like to say it lays flat, and that is just fantastic. And it feels really durable, but it's not super heavy. It's not gonna be a huge burden in your game bag. So this is really well done.
Thank you.
I like it. It's pretty. What else do we have?
So the next thing we get when we open the box is we have the luminary mats, because you do play the game as a Renaissance figure, a luminary from the Renaissance. So open them up, and you see there is a little bit of a bend, but if you touch the material that it's made from, you can see that it's not just paper.
These are nice. No,
it's
definitely like a gloss, a nice finish to it.
Yes, and so you can easily bend back there, and it will lay flat, and it doesn't degrade the paper at all. It was designed with that in mind. On the mats, we do have a little bio, and then each individual luminary's powers, area to put various cards that you'll be seeing during the game. So there is Brunelleschi, Martin Luther, and just note his power is nail it to the door for you historical fans out there. Francis Bacon.
Oh, wow.
You can see each mat has a little bit different treatment. They're the same, but a little different. St. Ignatius of Loyola. This is one of my personal favorites because I did study theology, so it's one of my interests. Christopher Columbus. And last but certainly not least, in my opinion, is William Shakespeare.
Oh, wow.
So each player does get one of those. The box comes with 6, but it's a 4-player game. Okay. So there's a choice. So next up is our cardboard.
Always the cardboard.
Always the cardboard in games. And these just pop out. So these are our luminary portraits. They match each of the luminary mats. They pop out easy.
They do. They pop out easy, but they're still held together well. Again, it's that beautiful finish. The colors are really, really vibrant, and these pieces are really well done as far as they're solid. They're not going to be like bending and breaking easily, but again, they're not that clunky, unhappy look that you get with some games. Those are really nice.
Well, thank you. This, of course, this is the initiative indicator. So this is something, and this too pops right out. We have a little scene on one side and then just a decoration from the period on the other. And this would pass to the person with initiative during the game. And then we have our money. These are florins. Each side is different. You have your little floor, and then its monetary value. Money translates to victory points in this game. So we have different denominations. These are my favorite to get when I'm playing, of course. They're worth 100. So we have those. The next thing we have is the game comes with these little stands. And these are the stands that you actually take your little, you can stick your little Brunelleschi in there. It fits in there nice and sturdy, so he's not flopping around.
Oh, well done. Cool.
And then that's what you use to move up on your income tracker. So that's how they work, and you get enough in here to play the game, so that's nice. There's also some minimal dice rolling in the game. So you get these 4 D4 dice. Cool. They're kind of nice looking. They're not too bad.
They're cute. They have kind of the numbers are kind of in a scrolly font, and they're cute.
And then what these are their player guides. Okay, one side has the name and rank of the cards when you're playing in skirmishes and battles. And it basically just gives you, once you learn the game, you won't refer to this side very often, but the other side, set collection plays a big part in the game.
Okay.
So this is a guide to your set collection, the cards that you need to complete them, and then the money that you make for them.
Awesome.
So there's one for each player. Just keep it beside your mat for handy reference. We also have these envelopes. So one of the types of cards in the game is a personal action card. So there's an envelope because they're kept secret until you get yours. So all the personal actions go in there. We have a little envelope for the cards that aren't being used. So instead of just throwing them back in the box and getting all messy, you just slide them in here, put them in the box, and then you can be orderly with your gaming, which I like. And then you have these. These are probably the most important of the envelopes that we have here, and these are our era envelopes. Cards do get placed into those envelopes, and they're well made, and they
really are well made. It's not just it's a heavier duty stock. It's not just a paper little envelope, so it is well done.
And you can actually, you can fit 4 cards at a time go in here. The cards, as we'll get to, they don't need to be sleeved, but if you were to sleeve cards, they still fit in there. It's a little tight, but they do fit because I did test that. So on this board, there's always going to be a place for your envelopes on the board, and then the bulk of the game is the cards. So, as you can see, these were never opened.
Dun, 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 dun. So I know that I was talking to Karen earlier, and she was showing me her personal set of cards that have been, like I said, to 2 Dice Towers, Origins, and a bunch of other events, and they are not sleeved. They look brand new after many, many hours of play. And I can tell you, it is that very nice, high quality card, and really just really, really well put together game.
So these are our cards, and there's a number of different kinds of cards that come with the deck. These are your basic conditions that equate to suits. You have culture, economic, politics. They're color-coded. You have religion. I'm just trying to get through these so I can show you a little bit of the little special or different cards that we get in here.
Don't forget, we'll have steals of everything at the end.
So you have a lot of these. You just have a lot of cards. There's 128 cards that come with the game. Not all of the cards are in play at all times. We've done that so that during the course of the game, not every game you play is the same. It makes for variety and makes it kind of fun. So
definitely,
that's basically what you get in the box.
Fantastic. I see you brought some other stuff for us, though.
You do get a little bag also.
Everybody knows I love the extra bags. That's huge.
So that's what you get in the standard box, the retail box. For people, I'll just put this aside. For people who were Kickstart supporters, we also have here. These are expansions to the game. The first one is called the Radiant Luminaires set. Okay, and what those are is it's the playmats that we saw. It's Leonardo da Vinci and Johannes Gutenberg. You get cards and you get the little placards. And I'm just going to open it because I'm going to leave this with Heather so that the Dice Tower can have a copy for their library. Yay! So within this little set, you do get just a little set of rules that suggest interesting ways to play, because these were designed to kind of be played with a two-player game. So they're basically, everything is pretty much the same. They're just extra things in there.
Cool.
So you get them. You also get cards, which I left in the other box. I have them over there, and you get your little figure that you can move along. This is the Seeds of Enlightenment. This was one of the Kickstart levels, so people who are receiving their Kickstart fulfillment now will actually be getting these. And
I just want to say that the artwork is beautiful. Just the pictures in general are just amazing.
In the game, Heather, all of the art is period art, and all of the text, as you can see on these cards, all of these cards have a lot of text on them. But that's not playable. This is all historically accurate flavor text. You don't need to read it if you don't care about history. You don't need to read it at all. All you need to know to play the game can be seen along the side.
So this makes me think it's a really good game for gamers, but it's really a good game for like maybe other people in your family that just are familiar with card games, or like that history buff that maybe you don't know what to get something for or whatever. That's fantastic.
So this is just, again, you get, more people. What's interesting about, I just want to point out Erasmus, because it's funny. Erasmus, one of the things he's most famous for, he was a great humanist, but there's a work that he made which is called In Praise of Folly. It's a very famous literary work. And during the course of playing this game, there's always someone, you probably have one in your family. When you play cards, when you play a card laid is a card played. That's what my mother always told me, and my mother is a card player. However, there's always that person who lays it down and says, oh, I made a mistake. Well, we have a mat for you. One of his powers is called In Praise of Folly. Anyone playing Erasmus actually may pick up a card you played in error, as long as another one from another player hasn't been played.
That's great.
So, because they can be very annoying, those people, but at least now there's a place for them. And you get your little cards, you get your little people. Another expansion, another thing, all of the people who Kickstart, this was one of the things that they're receiving. This is a 5 to 6 player expansion. It doesn't look like much,
Right.
You know, what you get when you get this is you get your 2 extra stands for the players. You get a set of rules in here that just gives you extra ways to score.
Okay.
And you get 14 cards, and these cards are masterpieces.
Oh, wow.
From the period. Okay?
Those are fantastic.
And they're really lovely, aren't they?
They really are.
But one of the challenges in designing a game, as you probably have played a million games and you know this because you work with people, is that how do you actually make a 4-player game go to a 6-player game and not have it be 2 hours longer?
Sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
This was like such a challenge because I'm like, I don't want a 2.5 or 3 hour game. Who wants that, right? Playing that long should be willing. It shouldn't be, you know, whatever. That's just me, but I'm the designer, so I can do that. But anyway, so what we did with this game is these cards, you can see there's a very slightly different tone.
Sure.
How these, when you are either dealt one of these or you draw one, they must immediately be played in front of your mat because masterpieces deserve to be seen and appreciated, and you deserve to be rewarded for having them. So you immediately receive payment from the bank.
Great.
Which what that does is that means that you are increasing scoring. Scoring money equals victory points, which means you are actually speeding up the game by providing mechanisms for people to score more.
Kudos, that's very brilliant.
Well, thank you. I'm proud of it, as you can see. Because it is a challenge. Because who wants to have a game that adds all of that time? And I'm saving what to me.
Well, I'm anxious because it's beautiful. So yes. So.
The one last thing I will say about this is it can be played. It's not only a 5 to 6 player expansion. You can add these and play it in a 2, 3, or 4 player game as well.
Okay.
Adds a lot more scoring. I'm saving this because this is my actual favorite. It's dear to my heart. The reason why we have it is because when we were kickstarting, we got so many requests, so many inquiries. How come there aren't any women luminaries in the game? And there are historical reasons for that. I won't really go into it, but it is addressed in the expansion. So if you were to get this expansion, you would open it up, and you have a set of women luminaries. We do have a sheet in there that explains why historically there,
are not as many well known.
Right. Okay. I mean, but these women, they are my favorite to play. They are the most fun. Their powers are just fantastic. The thing that I just want to emphasize in showing you this is, as you can see, it's very beautiful. It's everything like that. But one of the other things that I'm very proud of is that were you to get this set and were you to read Marguerite de Navarre's biography, you would then have an understanding of why her powers are what they are.
Cool.
So these are as I said, these are like, my favorite to play. And they're just more mats. You do not get cards with these because every one of these women are already present in the game.
And again, guys, we'll have really, really good close-ups of these for you.
And it's in what we try to do in creating all of these luminary figures. They do, of course, get their own little people, but there's a little bit of humor in it as well. But we really wanted to reflect, so when you're playing, you do get a sense of who these people were, not in a deep academic way, but like Catherine de' Medici we have here. One of her powers is the rich get richer. Catherine de' Medici, of course, was from one of the wealthiest families during the Renaissance. And what her power is that she essentially gets money whether she wins or loses. It's a very nominal amount. But when you're playing, if you were to win, I can hold out my hand and you have to give me 1 florin every time you win. So
Just because
it's who she was. So that's really the game, all the components of the game. And we're so happy that it was successfully kickstarted. And I really appreciate the opportunity to come here and show this.
We are so glad that you stopped by and brought us a copy and let us check it out. Everybody, the components are fantastic. The game is humorous, it's brilliant, it's fun. The artwork alone, if you're one of those people who collects board games just because they're pretty, this is a game you have to have in your collection. Karen has been a lot of fun. Jody, sorry you're not here. And we will catch everyone later. Talk to you soon.